Hello and welcome to Vikram Online Biz. Now, in today's video, I essentially want to raise an issue which has been appearing on YouTube lately rather too often. Now, YouTube seems to be asking again and again that instead of continuing with whatever username you might have chosen at the time of registration, you go in for your name, irrespective of, say, whether it's coming from your Google Plus profile, or even if, say, you haven't linked your Google Plus profile, then instead of what they call the complicated username, you might as well opt for your actual name. I particularly don't understand the logic behind this. Why is YouTube constantly asking? Now I'll this is something which has come up on screen. I'll just get rid of this. Yeah, so it constantly asks me, and on every channel. Now this is another channel of mine, Vikram YT Diaries, which stands for Vikram YouTube Diaries, Vikram being my name. Now this is a channel where I essentially just about any random thought which doesn't fit into one particular theme of a channel, then I post it here. Now I just wonder that why this constant badgering about choosing your actual name, or linking it with your Google Plus profile. Maybe that's not what I want. First of all, this whole somewhat this whole no spaces and this kind of a username was YouTube's own idea, wherein they wanted that the username on YouTube should be such that there's no space. It's a single continuous collection of alphabets or numbers. So that's how most people made their YouTube channels, and somehow that itself is like a brand. So I think most of us don't particularly want our real name, or link it to our social accounts. I don't think you need to ask. And what I've seen is here, like if I opt for this, I don't want to use my full name. What I see is that even if I choose this option, even later on again, if I say log into this particular channel, it'll again ask me that what do you want to do? Don't you want to get rid of this complicated username? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, and probably there is no need for you to ask at all. My understanding or my gut feeling is that they essentially want you to kind of link up to this whole your Google ID, so to say. That's the reason earlier you could sign in with your username. Now you can't do that. You've got to sign in with your what they call your Google account, which is essentially the email address which you used. If it's a Gmail, yes, it's a Google thingy. But even if you have, say, a Yahoo or a Hotmail account which you use to log in, that's the email ID which you chose. That becomes your kind of Google account or Google ID also. So say on the same browser you have on one tab you have YouTube. Like here I've opened Internet Explorer. I don't use it at all actually, but then since I have multiple browsers for multiple logins, like if I go down, I can show you that I've got Chrome, which I largely use, and that's logged into another YouTube channel of mine. So here I've got Internet Explorer, and say here if I was to open up another tab over here, then and say open Blogger or open any other Google account, then it would link to this particular this Vikram YT Diaries, this particular Google account. So I just want to say through this video that I don't think this whole thingy about asking me again and again using my full name, I don't think that's necessary. You can do away with this. At the most you can ask me once, and then if I'm not interested, you can just dismiss it. At the moment, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see that happening. They sort of badgers me that you have to link it some way or the other. You have to make a decision that don't continue with your complicated username, difficult to remember username, but choose something like your full name, something like that. So that's what I wanted to say in this video. Cheers.